CHFFL, what is up? We are finally here, championship week. Although I was knocked out, I'm still very excited for what is sure to be a great last week of a great season. I'm coming to you a little early because I'm traveling tomorrow. I'll be in town Saturday and Sunday. If anybody wants to try and put one of those aside to watch some games, I might be able to squeeze that in. Let's get straight into the predictions, though. Last week I went 3-3 in round 2, taking me up to 58-31 on the season. Should be able to hit 60 correct guesses this year for whatever that's worth. Brad won Team of the Week for the second week in a row, over 190 points. Left me with no chance whatsoever of getting into the championship. So, of course, Mark is knocked out by Swan, and I was knocked out by Brad, which means that for another year, I will be able to say, sure, I am all alone in the world, but at least I have more CHFFL rings than anybody on the planet. The championship game has been dubbed the Battle of the Bradstards, with Brad Swan against Brad Bannis, because I am just so unique and funny and clever. And interestingly, last week, Stan and Parker both lost after getting knocked out of the winner's bracket, so they kind of solidified where their draft priority will be. Looking at waivers, this is the last week to really spend money on waivers. Swan spent $50 on Brashad Perriman with some injuries in front of him. Brad spent $29 for the Broncos defense and special teams. The start in the championship, definitely worth blowing everything you have on there. Only 2 teams used all of their waiver budget, which is interesting to me. And Wes left the most on the table with $40. So it's no good to you now. It does not carry over. Let's start working our way from the bottom to the top like we did last week. Butt-touching Booty Bandits versus Buzz Lightyear. Storyline in this is, will Chris Godwin play for Roy? I think whether he does or not, I'm taking Grant here after Roy had a really bad week last week. But this is just between the 2 of them. One of them will get better priority based off of winning this game. And next, let's move up to Captain Phillips versus Shaggy Got Scooby-Doo. Minnie coming off a big score over 140 and a win, which puts him above Roy and Grant for draft priority. Stan has lost 3 in a row, but he has a huge wide receiver advantage over Minnie on paper. So I'm taking Stan, even though Minnie has probably caused me more misses than any other team this year, just because I seem to always pick against him. But he has gotten quite a few upsets despite being one of the lower scoring teams overall. Boom or bust. Let's see, Alvin in the... Wait, did I skip one? Yes. No, this is Patrick versus Blackbeard's Trading Company. Max against Parker. Max streaming a tight end. He doesn't have any on the roster as of today. Max has an advantage at running back versus Parker's wide receivers, but I still like Parker to win this one. Now to the most important losers bracket matchup. Wes, Alvin in the championships versus Marty's the Megalodons. This will determine who gets the first draft priority next year. So whoever wins this game will get to pick their draft slot. If they want first overall, they can take it. It's also kind of fun that this is what I'd consider a bit of a rivalry game. Wes and Marty tend to bark at each other in the chat a good bit. So fun little storyline here with one of the lesser games. We're monitoring Hopkins' situation for Wes, and for Marty, Mike Evans officially moved to the injured reserve. I don't think anybody expected him to play. Marty's running backs are looking really strong. Wes has that big advantage at tight end with Kittle over Higbee, or Hollister. But I'm taking Wes in this one. I think this will be a really good game, worthy of being the game you pay most attention to after the championship and the third place game. Speaking of, my Windfall Island Nittany Lions will play Mark's Lola Gives Me a Chub for third place in that $95 pot. Dalvin Cook, I saw that he's likely out, and I think that's the Monday night game, so Mark might not be able to wait to see if he plays. I have that problem where I have too many flex options to choose from. Like, I might end up sitting Gurley this week. When I last checked Fantasy Pros, I had 6 wide receivers in their top 30 for week 16 PPR. So whoever I start is going to do bad, and whoever I don't is going to do great. Both our quarterbacks have good matchups. I probably feel better with Watson than he does with Wilson right now. Chubb and OBJ have a tough matchup versus Baltimore for Mark, and a Patriots defense with Buffalo at home could be a big difference maker as well. So I'm taking myself here. I see quite a few things in my favor. Burned me last week, but I think I can get that third place. Good luck, though, Mark. It should be a good match. And finally, what we're here for, the championship game, the Battle of the Bradstards, the Salty Sea Dogs from the High Seas Conference, taking on the Hillwood Football Heads from Toontown. Bannis is coming in incredibly hot after 2 Team of the Weeks in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. That is clutch, but Swan is the highest scoring team on the year as a total. He's got the depth, and he's beaten everybody who's gotten in his way. Jameis Winston has been on fire. Can he keep that up, and can he hang with Lamar Jackson to keep Brad Bannis in this game? For Brad Swan, Christian McCaffrey and Melvin Gordon give him a big advantage on running back against Aaron Jones and Sony Michel. But Julio, who absolutely decimated me last week, and Bannis's tight ends give him a big advantage in the receiving positions. The last question mark I have is whether Swan can really trust the Falcons' defense this week, or if he's going to switch to somebody else. I forget who the matchup is, but I don't know. So my pick, I need the Corso head of each of the Brads. I don't have that, but my pick is Swan. I think that the storied franchise who's been here since the beginning finally picks up his first championship. Either way, this will be a fantastic game. Good luck to everybody. I'll see you possibly in Chartiers Houston over the next week or so. Bye-bye.